This little chat's probably going to be a little more controversial because this is an idea that's been bouncing around in my head for a while. The left in this country, we used to call them liberals, but liberal now means something different. But the left is just bound and determined to deny reality exists. And the whole thing started with moral relativism, where your morality and my morality, it's all relative. It's what's important to me. It's what's good to me. What's right to me. My truth, your truth. There is no the truth. And I'm like, what started all this? And then I realized it today. It's because of abortion. Because these people had to justify the murder of an unborn child. And they know it's wrong. They know it's horrible. And yet they choose to do so anyway. And why? Why are we doing this? Why are we killing our next generation? So that women can be free to go into the workplace. So let me get this straight. We went from an economy that allowed a man to work, his wife to stay at home and raise the kids, and they would do okay, to an economy where now both people have to work, both parents have to work, and that was kind of how it was in my generation. And now, because both parents have to work and the gender roles are not as clear as they used to be, so now marriage doesn't even seem all that important. So people aren't getting married. I really believe that this whole mess started with leftist liberals just subconsciously justifying the stand they took on abortion. So, for instance, I say abortion's wrong. Well, I say it's right, and your view is no better than my view because there is no truth. Truth is relative. Well, that would make you feel better if you were getting some pangs of conscience there about that point of view. And then, we just outright deny reality. The unborn baby isn't human. Well, okay, it's human, but it's not a person. Splitting hairs, nonsense like that. If it's a human being, it is by definition a person. There are no human beings who are not people. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how young you are, doesn't matter what stage of development. But what they've done is with the introduction of relativism, they have just destroyed any ability to say something is right or something is wrong. Then you move on to homosexuality and birth control and now transgenderism. I think transgenderism is, to this point, a kind of a pinnacle of denial of reality. There are a vanishingly small number of people who really believe that they are the wrong gender. That is called gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is no different from any other dysphoria. You don't treat it by just reinforcing it. That idea is completely novel. It's never been done. And if we're going to do that with gender, well, let's do it with anorexia, body dysmorphia. Let's do that. Let's just tell all the girls that think that they're too fat when they're skeletally thin. Let's reinforce it. Yep, you're a chunk. You are one fatty. You need to lose more weight, and then they'll die. I don't see the difference. I really don't. And there are other dysphorias, and you're starting to see some of them. Dysphorias where people feel like they ought to have some sort of disability, or where their arm is not their own, or their leg is not their own. You know, it's mental illness. But we can't even call it that because nobody wants to admit to reality. I'm telling you, it all goes back to abortion, which ultimately goes back to birth control. And I imagine that's a subject for another day. All right, kids. Enough of my ramblings. Love you.